Hey, welcome everybody. This is our quasi album release party for the new disc that's out called The Wolves, and this was originally a Dice Dreary songs from the podcast as a soundtrack that I collected into this. So thought we'd just play a little bit of music today and answer some questions, and I will mention some stuff behind the scenes. I am not going to play the whole thing because it's copyrighted music and they might kick me off Twitch. I'm kidding though, it's going to be fine. No. This the album is um uh how long it's 65 minutes long. It's 14 tracks, and so there's a lot to play, and it is now available at all of the places. Just got confirmation this morning that it hit Spotify, which was the last major one we were looking for. I think there's some other less well-known streaming services and shops that might be a couple more days before they get it, but it is now on the big ones. And so if this is something you're interested in, you can listen to it on Spotify, you can get it at Amazon, at Apple iTunes, and if you are a patron of Techno Funk Boy, it's already in Patreon. If you're a patron of Dice Dreary, I don't know if it's there yet, but it will be, and so you are going to get a copy. And if it's not, we'll jump in and correct that. But Putin, thank you so much. I appreciate the sub. And welcome, yes, album party. And so along the way, if y'all have any questions, throw them in chat. We're going to play full songs here. That is the that was the longest song on the album, and we're about to play the second longest song. So a little bit of background. So I wanted just to talk about like what makes this album a little bit different than the previous two Dice Dreary albums. And because this is volume 3 of the Dice Dreary soundtrack, but it is a little bit different. It sounds very different than the rest of it, and I think we'll probably talk more about that in a little bit. But I did want to. I was very satisfied with the prior two volumes, but I wanted to really amp this one up and really make it special. And so instead of just taking the songs as they were from the soundtrack, I basically rearranged them, redid a lot of them, changed some of them, added new things to some of them, and to make it better, to make it flow less like a soundtrack and more like a very cool synthwave album. And so I'm really pumped about this. This is also why the first two albums had a theme going with their album covers, and I completely tossed that one out this time because this needs a neon wolf on it. Can I get an amen? And so we're going to play Till at Last I Can See. All right, this was the closing credits song for season 1, and the music from here encompasses everything from the podcast, from when the characters left Valaki, went to the tower, went to Kresk, and did all of the things that happened in Kresk. And so that ended with at the end of season 1. It's kind of half of season 1, and this album is everything there. And so this is a song you know, out of three soundtracks, we only have 3 actual sung songs. Vader Kid, welcome. You are just in time. You're just in time till I at last can see. And so this is the only song on this album that is actually sung. The rest are instrumentals, but I love this tune. As just a little bit of a heads up. So if you heard the story about somebody mistaking this as Bowie, this was the song. Now I disagree with, you know, I was actually trying to sing more like David Hasselhoff. True story. But the song is more constructed like Bowie would do, and not what David Hasselhoff would do. So let's jump over and listen to that one.
Hurrying through the dusk gloom plains, bridge behind us burning, way before us still untamed. Though the way grows long, you are the strength I need. And though countless stars shine above, you are the hope I see. But you keep saying you don't know which way this road will go. Would you take my hand, cross this blighted land? Will you wait with me till I at last can see you? Miles grow before us now, never mind it, let's go on. Though we travel through the night, we are remaining strong. In the magic of the sunlight, mirages dance around. But you, I know, are real. That clears up all doubt. And I tell you, yes, I know which way this road will go. Would you take my hand, cross this blighted land? Will you wait with me till I at last can see you? Would you take my hand, cross this blighted land? Will you wait with me till I at last can see which way this road will go. You are my passport. Would you take my hand, cross this blighted land? Will you wait with me till I at last can see you?
Though the ground below is faltered, though the trees are torn away, the sky's no longer blue, but I have you. Though the sky is set ablaze, through the ashes and the haze, the world is made anew, for I have you. Though the ground below is faltered, though the trees are torn away, the sky's no longer blue, but I have you. Though the sky is set ablaze, through the ashes and the haze, the world is made anew, for I have you. Though the ground below is faltered, though the trees are torn away, the sky's no longer blue, but I have you. Though the sky is set ablaze, through the ashes and the haze, the world is made anew, for I have you.
Thank you, Vader Kid, for the fart. Cool. I appreciate it. Awesome. All right, we had I was chatting in the chat, answering questions, and I probably should have, like done them vocally, but yeah, appreciate it. Okay, we have some musicians here. Okay, y'all aren't gonna think bad about me when I say I love that song, right? I mean, if I'm not entertaining myself, I don't know why I'm doing this. So, but I wanted to kind of give y'all, since y'all bothered to come out here, get a little insight into kind of, the thought process behind a lot of this. And there are several leitmotifs that happen in Dice Dreary. Leitmotifs are kind of repeating themes that get developed over time, that are normally tied to a character, but or a group or something like that, or something. But they get repeated and grow along with the story. And this album, you're going to hear two of those. The one of them is what's in the game is Irina's theme. It is the theme of hope. And that is that's actually, it appears a couple of times on the first album, and is just kind of a very, very simple rising and falling melody that, what is that hooked up? Hold on. Hopefully that came through. That is Irina's theme. That's the theme of hope. And so there's a part in Kresk where it's kind of a softer moment where things are not trying to kill us all the time, and that sort of thing, and where where the characters are kind of on the precipice of really discovering some cool stuff that is going to provide hope and provide a kind of a path forward. And so I wanted to do a song like that, and I was actually a little bit hurried. And so I pulled up the piano and I just started improvising over 2 chords, which is the chords behind the theme. And I ended up it ended up being one of my favorite things ever that I've ever done. And so I thought we would check that out and check that out. And this one's called Eyes I Dare Not Meet. Um, uh, okay, I've been using FL Studio to make music. Do you have any thoughts? I don't. I've never used it. So, uh, yeah, I'm not sure. I've used Cakewalk and Reaper, and that's it. And I like Reaper more, a lot more. Um, and so, another inside thing. There are 4 songs that are titled things because of specific things. Like the Dyson Dreary theme is called the Dyson Dreary theme because it's the Dyson Dreary theme. That last song is called Till I Last Can See because that obviously has meaning for the character Crethin, and it's also kind of the repeating theme of the refrain of the song. But most of the songs are lines from T.S. Eliot's The Hollow Men, and that continues the tradition from Dyson Dreary soundtrack, the first soundtrack, The Mist, where everything was taken from the poem The Raven. So that is where I got the title Eyes I Dare Not Meet, which was just absolutely perfect. And so I'm gonna jump over there and we're gonna I'll play that one because I like it. All right, that was Eyes I Dare Not Meet. So appreciate the comments. Yeah, I think that Uematsu has a very heavy influence on my life in general. All right. So there's a song in there that's a little bit more playful than the other songs. This is something I wrote for the character of Sprocket, and this should have been on the first Dice soundtrack, The Mist, but it didn't fit there. And by the oh, thank you. This one was pretty. I appreciate that. That's yeah. I really like that song. But as I was putting together The Mist, I had already gotten well into what would be this album, and so I knew that this song would fit better over here. So if you don't listen to Dice Dreary, Sprocket is our Tinker Gnome, played by my good friend Ken, who is brilliant in the role, and he's constantly making things that he has realistically no right to make, and a little bit absent-minded, but absolute fun. And so when we met the character of Blinsky, and Sprocket really hit it off with Blinsky, I wrote this song as kind of Sprocket's theme, and I have not used it again since. And so, but it fits on this album a lot more, because the themes that are coming out in this album is that as the characters are going into the Kresk area, this is a place that has been taken over by this mad tinkerer, and so everything is industrial, and so the music gets more synthy, and that is also where they encounter the werewolves, which is where the title comes from. And so that kind of gave me the go ahead to get more synthwave with the soundtrack instead of a more traditional soundtrack. But this song very much fits more into kind of a synthwave category. I also had the clever idea to go out in the garage and get samples of various Tool noises and use that to construct the drum beat. And I don't think anyone involved in Dice Dreary noticed. Which is a little disappointing. This is why I tell you this up front, so you can listen for it. Hey, job, girl. And so we're gonna jump over there. By the way, the song is called, this is one of the songs that has a special title that does not come from the Hollow Mint. It's called Thunderhead and Cacophony, which are Sprocket's guns. All right. I appreciate the comments on there. And Broken Wake, welcome. The square 8-bit bass line's giving me life. Oh, I love that bass line in here. It makes me so happy. It really does. Yeah, it's that that's fun. Ah, as I mentioned before, y'all feel free to throw in any questions on any of this. I kind of made up just some songs that I wanted to play. And Zezikin, thank you so much for hanging out, though. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you later. But yeah. So yeah. Any questions y'all have along the way? We did very 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 last minute. We realized that the party was going to have some downtime right when in real life we were hitting Christmas. And so we had already recorded the season finale, which would happen a couple of weeks into the new year. We actually recorded it twice because of my mic. Yep, that was my fault. But we had recorded that twice. But at the very 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 last minute, Jeff came up with an idea for our very first Dice Dreary, our Christmas special. We've done 2 now. Shows you how behind I am in getting this album out. We finished the season a year ago, but I at the very 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 last minute did a Christmas song called Snowfall, and I actually put it up. I actually put that on Bandcamp, and I had it on Bandcamp. I put up a video on YouTube just to share with everybody for Christmas, and I definitely wanted it on this album because it kind of fits the whole theme. And I lost the masters. I don't know how. I do not understand how. I cannot find them to save my life, and so I had to not start over. A lot of times a lot of times I don't know what sound exactly I want for a part, so I'll actually record it in MIDI and then push it back through the synth later with the sound that I want. And I still had the MIDI. And so I was able to go in and kind of and try to reconstruct it. It is a little bit different. It is a little bit different, and it's completely new mix because I had nothing of the old actual mix. But it did turn out to be a fun song. Yeah, pushing from MIDI to synth. Yeah, it's a very circular process because I'll record MIDI and I'll play it on my synth, and then I will have the computer push it back to the synth. There's got to be an easier way, right? But yeah, I know I like my synth a lot more than I like a lot of the patches, and so yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that most of the time. And so yeah, we'll listen to Snowfall. And All right. Love the other fade outs, but the drum stays strong. Yeah, I did it a couple of times this time, and I did it first by accident. I really like that effect, and so I used it. I think a couple of times. Uh, it's when you don't do the dragger fade out thing on all the tracks accidentally, and I thought it sounded good, and so oh goodness. What else did I want to tell y'all about? Um, yeah, so there's a couple more things. So there are yeah, happy little accidents, Pop Ross. Uh Poji, perfect. Um all right. So this is really weird. But when I first started college and I was really getting into Uematsu and another particularly SNES soundtracks, it's when I first started to learn how to use MIDI. And I started working on a very, very big project, like a video game soundtrack. And I mean, obviously this is like the exact wrong way to do this, right? Because you're supposed to like know what the plot is first, and then construct the soundtrack around it. And it was also pretty, you know, pretty musically primitive because I didn't know what I was doing, and so I didn't have I didn't have a lot of musical themes in it or something. But there's one thing that I started doing in that all of the I wanted all of the music for the towns, like walking around town music, to be more upbeat, rock influenced or pop influenced than the rest of the soundtrack, which is more kind of traditional classical. And I started doing that in the Mist, in Volume 1 of Dice Dreary soundtrack, because the music for just kind of walking around Valaki was kind of this upbeat acoustic guitar song. And as we were getting to a point where we had some downtime in Kresk, I realized I was like, actually, I want to keep that up. I want to keep doing that because there's only 3 towns in Barovia, and so this is not going to be something that's going to kill me to keep it up. And so I came up with kind of this throwaway riff that I did not think I was going to like nearly as much as I do. But I ended up loving this little song, and actually it was a recycled riff that I had used for a heavier rock song ages ago, and I didn't like the way it came out. I didn't like the melody that I was singing, and so this one's like, hey, I'm just gonna take out the singing, and kind of redid the riff and rebuilt the song a bit, changed things around a little bit, and I ended up just absolutely loving it. So this is one that I'm actually I'm working on a music video for this song, and I've only done one other like serious attempt at a music video in my life. The rest, I put up some songs on YouTube, but it's mostly like like moving background and play the song. But I did one for Last Hope from Dice Dreary 1, and I'm gonna do one for this song. And I think it'll be the only one on this track that I try to attempt that. I'm gonna maybe get a lyric video done for Till I at Last Can See. But I ended up just loving this song. So this is called Wind in the Dry Grass, and so this is the kind of walking around Kresk song where you're kind of walking down the street, and so we'll jump over to it. I knew it was going to cut into the next song. It has a really short ending to it. Okay, I only have one more song that I want to play tonight. And so if y'all have any questions on the album or anything like that, feel free to jump in. Like I said, this is there's 14 songs on it. I think I went through half the album tonight, which is kind of fun. But 14 songs, 65 minutes of music. This is my fourth full length album that I've released, and this is by far my favorite. And so I'm really excited to have this out. And I'm actually getting I have a poster ordered. It's gonna go up on the wall right back there. And so I mentioned before that there are two that you're gonna hear. Two of the leitmotifs on this album. The Hope one shows up at least 3 times. I think it's 3 times. The motif of the wolves comes in at the beginning and at the end. And so the last song that I'm going to play is from our season finale. And this was the big battle between the characters and the werewolves, and it turned out to be a massive battle. I don't know why Jeff let me get away with this song. I don't know why Jeff let me get away with any of this, except that, I turned it in and it's like, this is the music, this is what we're doing. And he goes, okay. And I was like, you sure you don't want to push back on that a little bit? But he doesn't, and he lets me get away with a lot of crazy stuff, and I've had an absolute blast doing it. This album in particular was a lot of fun because I wanted to be upbeat and I wanted to be poppy, but at the same time not dull. Not the same 4 pop chords that you hear everywhere, and so none of these songs. Actually, that last song was the closest to a legit pop song that there is on the album, but it's still peppy and upbeat and fun. And so this battle theme ended up being probably quite a bit more upbeat and dancey than Jeff probably intended. But he let me get away with it. And I don't know why, but thanks, Jeff. It ended up being fun. That being said, I need to recruit people who have TikTok, because I want this song to end up being like one of the viral dance TikTok videos. And you're going to hear it when it goes into the song goes into a verse part and it gets a little bit more funky. And so if you have TikTok, I want you to consider doing a dance video to this song and getting all your friends to. And let's set this thing off. You know what I mean? We're all on the same page. I don't have TikTok, and even if I did, I would not be doing this. But yeah, so we're gonna jump over to the last song and take a listen. This is called "Sunlight on a Broken Column." I'm not an 8-year-old girl, dude. Well, I mean, but you're cool on TikTok, right? People think you're cool, right? None of y'all are like influenced? Okay, fine. Well, was about to say that I was going to go hunt for an 18-year-old girl, but no, I'm not. That's not going to happen. All right, let's take a listen. I'm so, this is the reason I did not like keep my cam on the entire time, because every single time I was listening to that tune, to mix, to EQ, whatever it was, I was dancing in my chair. So that is a good half of the wolves, and so I really do appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I know I know there are I gotta check with Jeff. I think he has the music, and so I need to check to see if it's in the Dice Dreary Patreon yet. I know some of the people so on chat are Dice Dreary patrons, and so if it's not there, it will be like hopefully tomorrow, something like that. And so please do check that out. It is also in all pretty much all the places now. Amazon, Apple iTunes, Spotify, and so please if you did enjoy it, give it a listen in one of the places, and I feel free to give it a good rating on those places if it allows for ratings. Thersputin, thank you. Thank you, said fantastic party. I really appreciate it. I had a blast. I'm glad y'all came. Because I still would have done this if no one was here, but it would have been weird. I've done streams to no one before. Thankfully, not anytime recently, because y'all have been amazing to come hang out with me. And so pretty good. Thanks for the cheer. Appreciate it. And so anything else y'all want to know? Any behind the scenes of the music? I'm really planning, and maybe next week. Let me see if I can get that scheduled, and I'll put it up on Discord. I want to do a stream where I kind of go through my process in scoring a podcast, and so for anybody who's interested in I used the synth to record MIDI, and then I used the MIDI to record the synth thing. We'll go through that. Is Crethin and Sprocket dead? But like, have they always been dead? Not always. Like, like they were born undead. That'd be a good twist. Yeah, if we've been undead the whole time, Irina finally escapes from Barovia and goes over to the spine of the world and finds Crethin's parents. It says, he really helped us out, and he saved everybody. And they're like, Crethin, he died 50 years ago. Sign me up to the video to sit thing not being dead thing. I doubt there's a sign sheet for that. Those I don't run in those circles, man. I don't know. There's been a Crethin around here for 50, 60 years. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so yeah, like, okay, so for the Dice fans, tomorrow's episode, especially you Sprocket fans out there, Sprocket breaks the game tomorrow. Like, after what we, after this episode, like Jeff put it away for several months to figure out how to fix it. It was pretty amazing. So y'all definitely need to check that out. But you have to beat Strahd before you can listen? Look. Look, look. I'm the one that got Jen into Curse of Strahd, and therefore I outrank her. I don't think that's how that works, but I'm just going to claim that's how it works. I say go ahead. I say do it. Please don't tell her I said that. Somebody's going to clip that and send it right to Jen. Oh man, Thresputin, you're going to like it. You're gonna like it. Yeah. Dice Dreary, Dice Dreary has been an absolute joy to be a part of, because it's been an absolute blast. And it's like I don't know why Crethin and Sprocket work as a team so well, but they do. And so I definitely do not take that for granted, and I absolutely love it. So Thresputin, can you get your character to die or something? And they'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I fell in this pit. Peace out, I'm dead now. You go listen to Dice Dreary." Been fun. Bye. My character's so sad. I can't take any more. Bye. Oh goodness. And frankly, I'm the same way, because it's like I have like 3 other Curse of Strahd podcasts that I want to listen to, and I've listened to Death House in all of them, because I'm just to see how each one handles Death House, because that's so secluded, doesn't actually affect the overall plot at all. But I've listened to Death House in all 3, and I'm looking forward to listening to the rest. But it's because there's no order in what you do. It's like, we're 2 years into our campaign, and we could very, very easily, like, they could go straight to a place that we have not been. That's why I slow down Vader Kid's game so much, because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. So I troll his game and make fart noises and make Mal re-roll his personality, so they don't actually make any progress, and they don't. It's wonderful. But yeah, all right. I'm officially losing my voice now. We will never catch up with y'all. Well, I'll say it's like how quickly you can get into spoiler territory, because we skipped Old Bone Grinder right up front, and so, like, we're to a point now that's been resolved, to the point that we're not going to go to Old Bone Grinder, but that's usually a place that people go fairly early, and so it can go into spoiler territory like very, very quickly, and for us now, we're as far as recording goes, we're close. We're to avoid there's Putin. Did y'all go in? Did y'all do Old Bone Grinder? Have you gone that far? You had to have gone that past it, haven't you? Oh, yeah, well, of course, you joined in Valaki, which is past Old Bone Grinder. I don't know if they went inside or not, but oh, see, like, I haven't been to the Amber Temple. We've been playing for 2 years. It's our last stop on the way to Ravenloft. So that's one of those things. It's like, because everything can go out of order. It's not like I could like, okay, I can now listen to the first 20 episodes of pretty much any Curse Stride campaign. I really can't. So we're getting to the end, almost done. But yeah. So all right, I'm going to. I'm pretty sure that's what you. Yeah, probably. I'm gonna head out, but we're actually gonna be back tomorrow for Star Wars. It's gonna be a one-on-one adventure, and so if y'all are available, Peter would very much like your boost die and along the way, because he's got to do everything by himself, and so that should be fun. I gotta figure out how to set up, because he's gonna be here, and so we'll probably have a little bit of a different setup tomorrow, but yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate everything, guys, and y'all are amazing, and we'll catch you later. Oh, Vader Kid, you're here. Who's on? We got Vader Kid makes me feel guilty about not rating someone. So who's on? Oh, Zezikin is on. Let's do that. Yeah. All right, how do we do that? Oh, goodness. How do we do that? All right, let's see if that's going to work, okay? Because I just copied it straight. Invalid username. Is it with the parentheses? You've rated them before, haven't you? Come on. This is terrible. Is it the English version that you type, or the, I'm assuming, Japanese? It is the, okay. That was the slowest description ever for that. That's amazing. All right, let's do it. Let's go.